I'm tired of renting. Maybe I should get a house. How do I buy a house? What's up, you guys? My name is Antoine and welcome to my channel. I just recently bought my first investment property. I'll go over that in a later video. Aww. But I just wanted to share my experience and what I've learned with my first time going through the home buying process, as well as show you what happens from start to finish. One of the things I really enjoy is learning from others, as well as lifelong learning. And if that sounds good to you, definitely hit the subscribe button down below and turn on the bell notification. So the first thing you're going to want to think about is how much house can I actually buy? Because there are people out there who will buy a home that they really shouldn't be just because the bank is willing to give them a loan. And when that happens, instead of them owning the house owns them. Lenders will typically recommend that your home cost is no more than 3 to 5 times your annual income. So if you and your partner make about $100K, your price range would be about $300 to $500K home. But definitely consider your own financial situation, your spending habits, the amount of debt you carry, because this is definitely a contributing factor to why so many Americans live paycheck to paycheck and feel like they're in the rat race. So once you have an idea of how much house you can actually buy, now you can go on Zillow or Redfin and start looking at properties within your price range. Now once you find some properties you're seriously interested in, now is the time to get pre-approved with a lender. If you're using something like Zillow or Redfin, they'll link you up with an agent as well as a lender. So if you don't have that already in your network, Zillow and Redfin are able to provide that for you. So now you're getting pre-approved from a lender, and you can shop around and talk to different lenders and get different pre-approvals just to see what kind of rates you can get. And this does ding your credit score, but if you're getting a bunch at the same time, it recognizes it as one, and the pre-approval usually is good for a couple months. So when you're getting pre-approved, your lender will want things like your income, your savings, and your investment, just so they can get a better idea of your financial situation. Later on in the process, you will need to send them things like your W-2, your paycheck stubs, as well as your bank account statements, just so they can verify that you actually have what you said you had. So don't try to pull a fast one. Once you have the pre-approval, it's game on. You can start working with your real estate agent to start sending out offers. Don't be afraid to ask your agent a ton of questions and even ask them for comps. And comps are comparisons of houses that are similar to the one that you're looking at and seeing how much they sold for and what condition they're in. As well as asking questions like, who pays for closing costs? Because I know in some states, in some areas, it varies. Sometimes it's the buyer, sometimes it's the seller. Just some things to consider when you're looking at a property are like the high ticket items, like the roof, the HVAC, the electrical, as well as make sure things are functional like the windows, the doors, the outlets. If you really like the property, be sure to take photos and videos because you never know when this will come handy down the line. Try not to get too emotionally attached to a property. That way you still have the leverage to be able to walk away from the deal. Because if you show that you just have to have it, you're definitely going to end up overpaying for the property. Now, once your seller accepts your offer, you would then put your earnest money into an escrow account. Now, what is your earnest money? The earnest money is the money that shows the seller that you're serious about buying the home. And the earnest money can be negotiated depending on the location, but typically it's about 1 to 2% of the house cost. Now, what is an escrow account? An escrow account is a third party that holds your money until a requirement is met, in this case, fulfilling your purchase agreement. Once the sale goes through, your earnest money is then applied to the down payment, but if you back out, you lose your earnest money and the seller gets it. So now is not the time to have commitment issues because there's a good amount of money at stake. After that, then you would go send an inspector to go check out the property, which is always highly recommended. And if you don't know any, your real estate agent should be able to provide you with a list of inspectors. Once your inspection report comes back, you and your real estate agent can then go back to the seller and tell them what you want done to the property from the inspections, or even renegotiate the offer, which would be a third-party company that's not associated with the lender. After your seller is done making the repairs, your lender will then find an appraiser for you to go check out the property. And the purpose of the appraiser is to make sure that the house is bought at a fair price. After that, you have to deal with the title company who will make sure all the paperwork done for this property is legitimate. Then you can move on to closing, where you sign all the documents associated with the property, including the loan documents. Then after a couple days, your loan will be funded once the lender gets the paperwork, and they'll send a check to the seller. Congratulations, you're now a home. So there are a lot of big players when it comes to buying a home, such as your agent, your lender, your title company, your appraiser, the selling agent, contractors. But I hope that this video helped and shows you exactly what the home buying process entails. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a thumbs up and comment below if you have any questions on the home buying process. I am by no means an expert, but I'll try my best, and I'll see you guys in the next one.